Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is right here, everyone. Welcome back for more SPTV, where every day is a great day to leave the cult of Scientology. You like what I did there? I put a little spin on it. Guys, we are talking today about one of the many lawsuits currently pending against David Miscavige and Scientology, the international multi-billion dollar human trafficking cult known as Scientology. One of the many lawsuits is the one that Leah Remini is currently waging against Scientology. David Miscavige, the tiny little leader of Scientology, is personally a party to the lawsuit. And what happened recently is David Miscavige was not happy with some of the decisions that the judge had made in this case. There were some rulings that came down that did not go in Scientology's favor as much as Scientology would have liked. And instead of just going, you win some, you lose some, this is what litigation is like, David Miscavige's team was like, we don't like this judge. He's biased. Get rid of him. Now, this challenge was called a peremptory challenge. In my last video, I kept calling it a pre-emptory challenge. Many apologies to you legal eagles out there who, really called me out on that. It is a peremptory challenge, and these things are usually approved just in due course. Now, I did a video talking with my lawyer friend, Zach. He can be your lawyer friend, Zach, as well. You can find him on YouTube. His channel is called Your Lawyer Friend, Zach. We did a little chat about whether this type of request would be automatically approved just as a matter of proper procedure. This far into the lawsuit, many decisions and motions and pleadings have already been made, and it just seemed like a weird time to just automatically request a change of judge with an accusation of being prejudiced or not capable of presiding fairly. These types of peremptory challenges do not require an explanation. You can say that the judge is not capable of being fair. You're not required to explain why. And yet what has just happened, what has just been filed today, is the judge has filed a notice that he is actually requiring both sides to submit written arguments for or against whether he can be fair and balanced. I'm going to read you the language of the thing, but I wanted to give you a little bit of the context on this. Some of the further context is that in response to David Miscavige's request to have the judge removed, Leah Remini then filed her own request saying, well, if we're going to get rid of this judge, there's another judge that is presiding over one of the other Scientology lawsuits, Bixler et al. Versus Scientology, David Miscavige, Danny Masterson et al. And some of the plaintiffs are the same in the lawsuits. Wait, that's not true. Leah Remini's not a plaintiff in that other case. Anyway, the argument was that these cases share similar subject matter. Oh, the defendants. Many of the defendants are the same. The subject matter is the same. Stalking, harassing, intimidation, fair game, that kind of stuff. And Leah Remini basically asked for the other judge in the other lawsuit, who, by the way, has also made a lot of filings that have not gone in Scientology's favor, that the other judge be assigned. So honestly, this most recent filing, where Judge Randolph Hammock, the one Miscavige is asking to be removed, the fact that he's now giving both sides a chance to argue for or against this might be David Miscavige's best. This might be the best possible outcome for David Miscavige. I think there's a chance that when Leah Remini said, well, if Judge Hammock is going to be removed, can we have that other judge? I think there's a chance that David Miscavige and his team were like, ruh-roh. Maybe we better keep Judge Hammock. So this might have been Judge Hammock opening this door here might have been the best thing for David Miscavige. But let's take a look at this. Guys, as a normie, as a layman, I was really amused by the language of this thing. So I wanted to share it with you guys. This was literally filed today, April 2nd, as you can see, 10:30 Pacific time. So literally hours ago, this thing was logged. Okay. Nature of the proceeding. Court order. Defendant David Miscavige's peremptory challenge to judge. This court has reviewed and considered the peremptory challenge filed by defendant David Miscavige on March 26, 2024. As the parties are well aware, this court has an affirmative duty to hear and decide all cases assigned to it, unless otherwise disqualified to do so. Be that as it may, under certain situations and within certain time parameters, a party may file a peremptory challenge to the judge assigned to the case based upon the filing of a simple declaration that the party or the attorney for that party simply believes that the assigned judge is prejudiced against the party or lawyer. No other reason or evidence need to be provided. These motions are routinely granted without hearing or briefing, as they are usually obvious on its face as to whether it has been properly and timely filed. This court's initial instinct is that Mr. Miscavige's peremptory challenge to this court has, in fact, been properly and timely filed, and that it should be granted. However, in view of this particular statute, this court requests that each party be given an opportunity to state in writing their respective positions as to whether this peremptory challenge should be granted or not, or in the alternative, to take unilateral action which could moot this challenge. Now, guys, to me, that last sentence, or take unilateral action which could moot this challenge, to me is saying that Miscavige and his attorneys have an opportunity to withdraw their challenge. I cannot come up with any other interpretation. I cannot come up with any other possible unilateral action that could be taken to moot this challenge. Okay, as such, this court invites the parties to submit a written brief addressing the following issues. One, the fact that this court has already ruled upon a special motion to strike, the anti-SLAPP motion, which may involve a, quote, contested fact determinations relating to the merits of the trial. Does this prevent defendant David Miscavige's peremptory challenge at this time? Two, does the fact that defendant David Miscavige is the de facto leader and or the CEO of the corporate defendants prevent him from filing this peremptory challenge in his individual capacity at this time? Damn. Three, does the fact that he sought relief in his individual capacity by filing a motion to quash for this court to hear prevent his current peremptory challenge at this time? Four, does the fact that subsequent to the filing of his peremptory challenge, he filed a joint stipulation for this court's signature and order on March 29th, requesting an extension for his time to file a responsive pleading, affect his right to exercise a peremptory challenge at this time? Five, does the subsequent filing of a notice of appeal by the corporate defendants in regard to this court's ruling of the special motion to strike have any impact on the pending peremptory challenge, either jurisdictional or otherwise? Any brief filed by any party, including defendant David Miscavige, is due by April 9th, 2024 by noon. A courtesy copy emailed to blah, blah, blah would be appreciated. This court will issue its final ruling authority thereafter, or to set the matter for hearing if needed. Something tells me this one's going to hearing. In the meantime, this court will not issue any further rulings and or orders in this case while this motion is pending, except as may be allowed under CCP section 170.4.4. I don't know how to say it, you guys. I find this unbelievably interesting. David Miscavige personally, as an individual, not as a representative of any of the corporations involved in the lawsuit, filed the peremptory challenge. Here's the chat that me and my lawyer friend Zach should have on this subject. Why is the judge asking the parties to submit to the judge their opinion about their answers to these questions instead of the judge just making a ruling? Clearly, the judge already has his opinion on these things. Clearly, the judge has the authority to make a ruling on this motion. Is it simply good, better, or proper form for him to give both parties an opportunity to fully argue their opinions on this, pro or con, before making a ruling? Is it just good form that prevents or reduces the likelihood that his decision will be reversed on appeal? Is this just kind of what you do when you want to be super, super thorough? It also shows me that the judge isn't dying to get rid of the case. Because again, it seems to me, guys, what do I know? I'm just a normie. I grew up in a cult. But it seems to me that this is a request that could just, well, as the judge even said in the beginning of the order, this is routinely granted as long as it can be proven that it was filed timely and correctly. And the judge even said it was filed timely and correctly. And the judge even said, my opinion is that it should be approved. Then why didn't he approve it? Why didn't he approve it? He said it was filed correctly. It was filed on time. Let's look at that again. Let's make sure I'm not misremembering or misquoting this. Let's look at this paragraph again. This court's initial instinct is that Mr. David Miscavige's peremptory challenge to this court has, in fact, been properly and timely filed, and that it should be granted. However, in view of CCP, and maybe that's the part that I don't fully understand, in view of this thing and that thing, this court requests that each party be given an opportunity to state in writing their respective positions as to whether this peremptory challenge should be granted or not, or in the alternative, to take unilateral action which could moot this challenge. All right, well, I'll tell you what, my lawyer friend Zach, if you are out there and you can look up CCP statute 170 and 170.6, and then we can have a further follow-up discussion about this fascinating filing, then let's do that. Let's do that either later this evening or let's do that tomorrow. By the way, I want to thank all the new channel members. I think we're almost about to hit 1,000 channel members. Thank you guys who are signing up for channel memberships. Thank you to all of you who have been gifting channel memberships to people who are in the live chat. It's really awesome. I appreciate it, you guys. Let me see. KD214 became a new channel member. Welcome. Dave Owens says, translation, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah. And do you guys agree with me? If the judge just wanted to get rid of the case, he could have just approved it and gotten rid of the case. It does seem that, one, he's interested in keeping it, and two, he realizes that David Miscavige might already be having second thoughts about the wisdom of requesting that this judge be removed. There has been, and I'll say this as, you know, a third-party observer, there has been absolutely no indication that this judge is biased against Scientology or David Miscavige or in favor of Leah Remini in any way, shape, or form. It is just a matter of procedure. Silly. It just seems silly. A very mistimed roll of the dice to be like, let's get rid of this judge and ask for a new judge just because we're slightly pissed at some of the decisions he's made. There's no evidence this judge is biased in any way, shape, or form. And if you get rid of a judge who's shown no evidence of bias, what's your upside? What's your downside? Your upside is, well, limited. Like your downside is you might actually get a judge who is biased against Scientology. Your upside is what? You're not going to get a judge who's biased in favor of Scientology. Those judges don't actually exist. Anyway, it seems super, super silly. All right, guys, just a small development in the case, but I still wanted to share it with you. I swear to God, I've got like 3 other videos I want to get done by the end of the day. So if you're not getting notifications, almost no one's getting notifications. Just check back, guys. Hit that notification bell just for the heck of it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside